Welcome to Biology My Passion. I am Soumya Harikrishna. We have been dealing with the important questions and competency based questions from the chapter Life Processes. Today we will see a few 3-mark questions from this chapter. For your information, all the chapters have been already uploaded in my channel Biology My Passion, where you will find physics, chemistry and biology all lessons explanations, and class 10 questions playlist. If you check, you will get the extra questions done across the textbook, including numericals and physics. I will give the link in the description box, you can check out, and all videos are available in Malayalam as well as English languages. You can choose the language and watch accordingly. Without much ado, let's start today's questions. First one is, give reasons. Respiratory rate in aquatic organisms is higher than in terrestrial organisms. We know that the terrestrial organisms respire the air present in the atmosphere, whereas for the aquatic organisms, the amount of oxygen dissolved is the source for them. So that oxygen dissolved is comparatively less than the atmospheric air, so they need to breathe faster. Capillaries are the thinnest blood vessels. We know that any artery then branches into fine branches and then ultimately into capillaries, and capillaries joins back to form the veins. Why they are so thin? Because through the walls of capillaries, the gases, nutrients and other substances are diffused into the tissues. That's why they should be thin enough to facilitate diffusion of these substances. Trachea does not collapse when there is no air in it. The trachea or the windpipe is actually protected by several rings of cartilage. They are C-shaped half rings which can expand and contract. So these rings of cartilage prevent trachea from collapsing even if there is no air in it. Next is a diagram based question. Label the part shown in the below diagram. So here you can see the digestive system diagram. So buccal cavity is the a part marked A. Then esophagus or the food pipe is B. C, you can see it is the largest gland, liver. D is our stomach. E is pancreas, which is another gland opening its secretion into the intestine, and F is the large intestine. Give reasons for the following. During the daytime, water and minerals travel faster through xylem as compared to the night. We know that xylem is a conducting tissue responsible for conduction of water and minerals. But during daytime, this transport is faster because during daytime, there is a process happening that's called a transpiration. The transpiration creates water pressure or suction pressure in the xylem. This pressure pulls the water via the xylem to the leaves. Thus, water is transported faster through the xylem during the day. Small intestine in herbivore is longer than in carnivore. We know herbivores consume plant and grass-based food which is high in cellulose, and the digestion of cellulose takes longer time. Whereas in carnivores like tigers and all, the intestine is shorter because meat is easier to digest. The rate of breathing in aquatic organisms is much faster than in terrestrial organisms because as I mentioned in the previous question, it is dissolved oxygen is fairly lower in water than air. What are nephrons? Name their parts. Functional units of kidney which do the filtration of waste is nephron. Bowman's capsule is the first part. Then convoluted tubules are there. Proximal convoluted tubule or PCT and distal convoluted tubule or a DCT. And loop of Henle are the parts of a nephron which open into the collecting duct finally. Name the main nitrogenous waste product in human beings. In what form is it excreted out of the body? Urea and uric acid are the nitrogenous waste produced in humans. Mainly we excrete the nitrogenous waste in the form of urea. Name the substances which are selectively reabsorbed as the urine flows along the tube. A lot of filtrate is formed in the Bowman's capsule, but when it passes through the coiled part of the nephron, majority of the substances needed for our body are selectively reabsorbed. They are salt, water, glucose and amino acids. If diffusion were to move oxygen in our body, it is estimated that it would take 3 years for a molecule of oxygen to reach our toes from our lungs. How do transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide take place in human? We need a faster transport system. For that, oxygen is transported by the red pigment hemoglobin present in our red blood cell, whereas carbon dioxide is transported through the plasma. The detailed explanation is in the video. You can visit the video to learn more about it. Mention the normal systolic and diastolic pressures in human. Systolic pressure is 120 millimeter per mercury. Systole means the ventricular contraction time, whereas diastolic pressure is only 80 millimeter per mercury. Diastole is the ventricular relaxation during cardiac cycle, and this is measured using an instrument called a sphygmomanometer. Explain the process of translocation in plants. Transport in plants is comparatively difficult for students. If you have doubt, please visit the video, then come to this question. So translocation is the movement of materials from leaves to other tissues throughout the plant by the phloem. During translocation, sucrose is transferred into sieve tubes of phloem, because phloem has 4 components: phloem, sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. So using energy from ATP, this translocation happens into the sieve tubes. Once the sucrose is inside, it increases the osmotic pressure, because sucrose is acting as a solute here, so which causes movement of water into the sieve tubes from the adjacent xylem to adjust this osmotic pressure or the solute concentration. So this increases pressure. This pressure helps in translocation of material in the phloem to tissues like roots, where the pressure is less. Depict the pathway of breakdown of pyruvate in yeast cells. What is the process named as? Pyruvate or pyruvic acid, in the absence of oxygen, gets converted into ethyl alcohol, carbon dioxide, and energy, or 2 molecules of ATP. This process is otherwise called a fermentation. What is the site of digestion of fat in human? It is in the small intestine. Name the enzyme that digests emulsified fats, lipase. Mention the end product of fat digestion, fatty acid and glycerol. It is necessary to move the food in regulated manner along the digestive tube so that it can be processed properly in each part. How is the movement regulated along the gut? So we have sphincter muscles in the alimentary canal to regulate the movement of food for proper digestion inside the alimentary canal. So hope you understood all these concepts well. If you have any further queries or doubts, you can post in the comment box. I will answer your queries. So now we will meet with the next chapter, control and coordination. Thank you for watching Biology My Passion.